Hello, my name is Chris Woodpan. I'm the owner of Ink & Film Studios, and I am working with HeroTime to make a bunch of videos to help you get your products ready for print. In this guide, we're going to take a look how to open a new document and set it up in Illustrator, and then also how to use the template provided by HeroTime Games. So let's hop into Illustrator so we can check that out. So once you're in Illustrator, you can go up here to the File menu and start a new document that way with Control-N as the shortcut, which is what I will be using. Now, real quick, this is our interface, and you can see up here across the top, we have a couple little tabs. Recent is projects you've done recently, document sizes you've opened. You can go here to Saved, which will have any saved sizes and documents you may use on a consistent basis, and you can save them there. We also have some standard mobile, web, print, film, and these are standardized based on exactly like what the sizes would be. For instance, for HD TV or HD 720, you can go in here and use these documents. And sometimes they come with all the guides and everything set up. I prefer to set mine up myself, but you do you. Over here on the right, we have the preset details. So let's name this tarot cards. And then next is our width and height in inches. Now, again, I recommend using the same size and measurements you're going to use in your print version, use here. So we're going to go to millimeters. And then for our width, it's going to be a 70 millimeter, and our height is going to be 120. And you can see here that Illustrator's smart enough to know whether that's oriented portrait or landscape. This is actually where we can set the bleed for the whole document, which is one of the huge advantages that Illustrator has over something like Photoshop. I'm just going to make my bleed standard 3 millimeter right here. Color mode's important. We've talked about this several times. Make sure it is CMYK. And for raster effects, I like to have them at a very high DPI. So if you do a drop shadow or something like that in Illustrator, it will render out as cleanly as possible. So once we're completely done, we are going to select Create. And boom, there is our card template, and you can see here the bleed line is all the way around the outside. We're going to turn on the rulers with a little Control-R, and you can see that they are in millimeters because we set up our document that way, and we can drag guides down till our heart's content. Just to kind of show you how the bleed and everything works, let's bring in the original bleed document that we did from the Photoshop series, and you can see here how it fits in. We have our 3 millimeter bleed and then our 3 millimeter safety zone. So that's how you build one card in here. But if you want to make your life a little easier, or this might seem a little foreign, our templates are definitely a nice, easy way to get started. With a card, it's pretty straightforward, but they are going to be super helpful when you start to build boxes and tuck boxes and things like that. So if you just go to the quick website, linked and listed down below. So by looking on here, I have many choices to choose from. So we're going to go to cards, the dimensions. Let's use the standard size card. And then from the drop down, we'll do our 7120 tarot. All right, and then just quickly download our template. So we're going to bring in our card template. So it's going to ask us the color space we want to bring this in at. CMYK is where it's at. Now this is a little different than it is in Photoshop, because here I can actually manipulate all these things that are on the template, which when you're trying to draw over top of them can be super annoying. But the easiest way to handle it is go to your layers palette. If it's not there, you can go up to Window, hit the layers. It's also available hotkey F7, and it brings up this dialog. What I like to do is lock the bottom layer. That way I can't move it around. I won't accidentally grab it or anything like that during the process of me making the card. You can also crop your image down and get it down to the size of the image we just built. The trick is you need to save it as an Illustrator file, because Illustrator will just continue to save it as a PDF. So save your work and start over. But this will allow you to kind of build that as you go. So that's how you open a document in Illustrator, either by building the document itself or by using a template that we've provided. Some quick little things to remember is, number one, use the measurements that you're going to use for your final document and output so that you're all talking the same language. Be sure to use the color space that is appropriate. In this case, it's usually always CMYK. And also don't forget to set the bleed at the parameters described by your printer. Now, the other thing to remember is that when using a template, be sure to lock that layer down. That way it will never get in the way while you're actually trying to do work. I hope you found that helpful, and if you did, please don't forget to let us know, and be sure to check out the next one in the series where we're going to be talking about bleed and safety margins. So we'll see you next time.